Hang on. RV life is not all perfect and it's not all roses. So let's backtrack and start from the beginning.
Welcome to another vlog. After a few weeks off, getting our new pup settled in and all his shots and a few upgrades, it's time to get Harvey back on the road for some off-grid camping, or so we thought. Join Wayne, Scott and Ollie and Oscar on our adventures and see where Harvey takes us this time.
So it's been wet and miserable, but there's no time like the present to get back out on the road. But in typical Melbourne fashion, the rain doesn't last long, and it's not long before we get off the main road and we find some more sunshine. So while the sun's out, we make haste and we decide to take Ollie and Oscar for a walk along the Barwon River. As you can see, both boys do love a walk, but Oscar is still learning, and as you can tell, he keeps constantly getting tangled up within Ollie's lead, and it does make walks twice as long. Hi guys, welcome to this week's vlog. We recently did a minor upgrade to the motorhome, so this little getaway is just to test these new upgrades. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but we're here at Inverleigh,
just along the river, which is good.
Yeah, just off the Hamilton Highway.
Yep.
So for those who don't know, we're sort of 20k out of Geelong-ish.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, it's just on the other side of Geelong, a little bit rural, but yeah, we're in a roadside stop. It's a free camp. On Wikicamps it's 3.5, I think, or 4 stars. There's trucks going past now, so there's a little bit of road noise, but we're assuming it will die off through the night. But if you've been looking at the weather lately, you'll realise, there goes the truck behind us, Melbourne's had a heap of rain. We've had like 5-6 days of rain. It's been like 8, 9, 10 degrees. And today's really no different. We're sitting on 12 and it's about 9. But we just thought, bugger it, we're gonna get out, we're gonna get back in Harvey, and we're gonna test this upgrade. So we've actually bit the bullet. After our recent WMO, where we met a lot of the other guys who've all got Daintrees, we had a bit of a discussion and we decided to bite the bullet, and we've went ahead and got a few quotes, and we've now installed a diesel heater. So that's going to be really good for us, because even though we didn't feel terribly cold, we knew with Melbourne and it being so cold, and it probably just helped with the dogs, so we decided to bite the bullet and we've had a diesel heater installed. Our recent group event through the Southern Highlands of New South Wales and Canberra had us comparing and getting advice from all the other Daintree owners, and it was really quite helpful, but it got the cogs in our brains turning, and with our most recent trip to the Hepburn Shire cementing our decision to pursue to install a diesel heater. Our diesel heater was installed on the battery side compartment, which made installation for the shop much easier, and then the plumbing for the exhaust runs out the other side. So that's the heater. Back to regular programming. But anyway, we've got sheep right out the front door. Quite picturesque, and as you can tell behind me, the sun's currently out, so we're getting some good solar, which is all good for our free camping. So yes, because we're not connected to the grid. But yeah, stick with us. we'll see what we'll do. But we've taken the puppies already for a walk, and it's been a couple of weeks since we've vlogged with our little one. So now we've worked out we've had Oscar a month. So now he's a month older, a little bit bigger. Say hi. But he is exhausted because we just went for a short walk. The trail was meant to be 1.5 kilometers, and I think we got about 3/4 of the way and turned around to come back. So yeah, he's a little bit exhausted at the minute, but as always, powerhouse, a real rocket of energy. He didn't stop until literally he got inside, and then he's just gone.
How was that?
If you know me, you know that I love to do these kind of things, don't
Yeah.
I love to make noises and hand gestures and everything.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
we'll leave it there, and we'll get on with it. We've just made a coffee, so we'll see you soon.
See ya.
So I've just had a brief shower, and the sun's popped out again because the clouds are moving very fast today. But I just thought I'd pop outside here and show you roughly where we are here at Inverleigh. So this here is a roadside stay. There's obviously another camper just over there. You can hear there's a few cars going past, but there's plenty of room. I'll just spin around, and there's the entrance there. You can just see a car going past just now. But if I go down here, you can also see, so there's all the sheep. Nice sheep in the paddock. Sorry about the sun. So yeah, the sun does come out every now and again here in Victoria. But yeah, so that's where we are. To be honest, this road noise is not that great, especially once you got inside and the windows are shut, and we expect that it'll die down once it gets a bit dark. But we've had worse, and it's free. So that's where we are. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you that so that I can give you some context for this free camp, this Wiki Camps 3.5-star rated free camp. So there is no dump, there's no fresh water, and there's actually no bins as well. Sorry, I'm in the sun. So you have to take everything with you. There's a few signs saying make sure to be respectable and take your rubbish with you. Yeah, that's about it. So just over my shoulder, see there's all paddocks. There's actually a llama. Let's see if we can get a picture of that. Hello. So they're just there, and we're just there. And this is an electric fence. Yeah. Hello, moo cows. Just taking Oscar for a little walk. To stop the door slamming on windy days, we asked the shop to install the door stay against the wall of the motorhome. So now the door will open a full 180 degrees and locks in place. It's more stable. So we settled in for the evening. We listened to the cows and the sheep in the paddocks, and it was around 5:30, and we decided it was time to settle in for the evening, get the heat cranking. So we turned on the diesel heater, started up all right, but it only lasted about 10 minutes. It was just blowing lukewarm air, and then it threw an error code. And according to the instructions, the error code was either a blocked fuel or a fuel line problem. So we decided to turn it off and not tempt fate. And it didn't take us long to decide to pack everything up again and head home. Because after all, we're only 35 minutes from home. It had already been damp and miserable. There was an overnight low of 4. So we thought best bet is to head home. Unlike other van life videos, we didn't build Harvey from scratch. We just can't pull things apart when they fail. Sure, we can have a look and try and figure things out, but ultimately we paid a fair chunk of money for Harvey, and everything's covered by warranties, and it needs to be assessed by the depot or the installer. So after taking it back to the shop, we discovered our fault with the heater was partly due to a combo of user error and the fact that we had an airlock in the fuel line. So back home, we restocked with essentials, got back on the road after Wayne worked out a new itinerary which had us heading over to Winchelsea. Now we made the drive and we found the reserve was quite damp. Wayne was driving and I was outside assessing the ground for a site. I got Wayne to stop and double check my movements and this was actually a bad move because we lost momentum and we got stuck. 3 hours later, after we'd called for roadside assist, the lovely gentleman turned up with his flatbed truck and his winch, and it didn't take 2 minutes to pull us off the side of the road. He said we weren't bogged, he said we'd just lost traction, but we'd tried to get out several ways and we'd dug a little bit in, as you probably just saw with the picture. But anyway, he didn't want to appear on camera, so I didn't take any footage of that. But as we said, we had 3 hours, and so in that time we figured out that we would just head back to Inverleigh because we knew the ground was safe and stable and we knew where we were, so we thought we'd head back there, and then in our mind's eye we would then head on to Lismore and continue this new trip. The next morning we'd had a comfy night with the diesel heater. It was so toasty and warm in here. After about 2 hours we had to turn it off. We were so pleased with it and it was great. But yeah, the next morning, Wayne got up to take the boys out for a whizzer and I decided to turn on the diesel heater and then start making a coffee, and the diesel heater turned on, but it only lasted 5 minutes and it threw another error code, and this time it was a completely different error code telling us that we were low on power. And as I did that, the fridge threw a code, and its code was something we'd never seen before, and it was number 22, and it also says less than 10 volts. And then I noticed that all the lights started dimming, so we essentially had no power. We couldn't figure out why. We assumed it may have been with the diesel heater, but we're still testing. So we're home now. We were going away to Lismore and to Hamilton, and we were going to have a 4 or 5 day escape. Sadly, that hasn't happened. We've been home for a couple of days now because it was the weekend and the shop shut. So we've been gradually trying to do our own testing and logging to see if we can replicate exactly what happened, and then we'll provide that information to the dealer. So no doubt we will let you know what's going on there, because we couldn't even raise the bed. So yes, we started the engine, we got some residual power into the batteries, we raised the bed, we turned the fridge back on, but in the end we thought, let's go home, we'll terminate this trip and we'll try and figure out what's going wrong. So yeah, so it's now Monday. I've just rung the dealer. They've got me doing some different testing because they didn't have room in the shop for us straight away. So yeah, so I just thought I'd bring you guys up to speed, let you know what's been going on. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time out on the road. See ya.